You suckers in your SM7Bs. This mic is what real content creators are using. This is the Neumann BCM705. And I'm going through my AudioFuse studio with the gain at 3 o'clock. Now, that's some important info, and we'll chat about it later. The first thing I need to point out about this microphone, and something to keep in mind, is that this is a close talker microphone, meaning the optimal distance from the mouth is actually around 5 centimeters, which is less than 2 inches. This is something missing in a lot of reviews that I've watched, and I think it's given this thing a bit of a reputation for being thin, which when used properly couldn't be further from the truth. This is marketed as the American radio sound. It is very FM sounding. It's the cousin to the condenser version BCM104, which, if you're curious, I reviewed up here. Now, other than the 705 being dynamic, the only real difference is the color of the Neumann badge. This one being green, the 104 being red. Now, the housing is all nickel, very sturdy build with a built-in shock mount and a removable windscreen. And if you share your mic with a smoker or someone with really bad breath, this is a nice way to freshen it up when you take over. You can even see when you open it up. Neumann took a very condenser-style approach to this, but also a great way to see how this thing is built. That little capsule there, that's the whole mic. As for the specs, this is a dynamic hypercardioid mic. Frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, sensitivity of 55.4 dB per Pascal, self-noise of 18 dBA weighted, and a signal-to-noise ratio of 76 dB. Here is the frequency response graph, and you can see the distinct roll-off in the low end, but also it shows the near-field response, meaning that extra girth you get with the proximity effect. That right there is what gives it the quote-unquote FM sound. Now we're going to do the off-axis rejection, but I'm going to keep about 5 inches away while doing this as I would with other microphones, so bear with me. This is me speaking about 5 inches off the front of the capsule. Now I'm speaking about 5 inches off the side of the capsule. And now I'm speaking about 5 inches off the rear of the capsule. Now to test the plosive rejection of the BCM104. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now for the proximity effect test, but this one's going to be kind of in reverse. We're going to look at the proximity effect of the actual zone, and then we're going to look at it a little further back. This is me speaking in optimal range about 5 centimeters from the front of the capsule. Now I'm about 5 inches off the front of the capsule. Less than 2 inches, 5 inches.
So this is the cousin of the beekeeper, the close talker mic. Has everyone ever told you that you're a close talker? Well, this mic is for you. With this close talker mic, come get it now.
To do this mic comparison, let me tell you about our sponsor, Podcastle.ai. Whether you've been tasked with hosting your team's next Zoom meeting, presenting to potential new clients, or an entire board of directors, Podcastle has everything you need to succeed. Not really tech savvy? No worries. Podcastle's easy-to-follow instructions allow you to record high-quality remote interviews from anywhere, and thanks to its intuitive audio editor, you can make changes on the fly. Podcastle's Magic Dust feature even enables you to isolate monologues and speeches within your podcast or presentations to make them sound flawless. Sure, all this sounds expensive, but it's really not. Everything you need to start your podcasting journey is online right now at Podcastle.ai for $0. Already comfortable behind the mic? Check on the pricing link to choose the plan that's right for you, like Storyteller. Add more color to your stories with additional features and tools for the introductory price of only $11.99 US. Or get started with Podcastle Pro for only $23.99 for the first month. Podcastle Pro includes everything in Storyteller, plus 25 hours of transcription and or text-to-speech per month, 10 high-quality voice skins, and early access to new features. Visit Podcastle.ai and make your voice heard today. Now, I don't know why, but I'm not loving this mic as much as I used to, especially when I put it up against the competition. And let me be honest, I have used this mic in the past a lot, but also with lots of processing, as it was always live on air. But this one specifically, especially when it's just the naked mic, I'm not so sure. Now, maybe my ears have just been matured that much since the last time I used it. It has been about 3 years. But I do have to say, the result was worse when I used it with a cheaper interface, almost like it was a combination of the mic and the cheaper pre's. This is what I used, not naming names, but I'm just saying. It was worse. Now, I can still hear a bit of it on the AudioFuse Studio, but nowhere near as much as I could on the cheaper interface. Once again, though, this microphone isn't new, but it is also a mic that was recently in service, so I'm kind of coming at this thing much like you, possibly hearing it for the first time. That said, I do find it a bit thin when I back off, but when I get into the optimal range, I find the muddiness takes over. The lows aren't super bad, but the low mids are pretty bad at times, even a bit harsh. Now, that said, there is something to be said about finding the balance between the distance from the mic and the boominess of your voice. Once again, though, it doesn't happen all the time, just sometimes, and more so on that cheaper interface. One note to anyone that is interested, though. This is not a beginner microphone, and don't laugh when you hear that. Your mic technique needs to be on point with this microphone. Otherwise, your audio is going to sound painful to the listener with all the plosives. So what do you think? Is it worth the extra few dollars? Or did Neumann drop the ball with this one? I can tell you this, if I were buying a BCM mic from Neumann in the near future, it would totally be the BCM104. If you do want to check this microphone out, there are links down below. And if you like this video, YouTube thinks you're going to love this one. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.